Let's go. Today I'm talking about the 2002 movie The Blair Witch Project Resurrection. Sorry, my bad. Halloween Resurrection. As always, this review is going to be spoiler free, so if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe to this channel and like the video. After H2O made a crap ton of money, the studio of course had to pump out another one. This movie begins with one of the worst retcons in cinematic history, negating the fantastic ending of H2O, and then the movie pulls an Alien 3 and kills Laurie Strode. This isn't really a spoiler because it happens within the first 15 minutes of the movie, and it's impossible to talk about this movie without mentioning it. Once the only character who can make this movie remotely interesting is dead, we get introduced to a new cast of generic pieces of meat as they join an internet reality show hosted by the one, the only, Busta Rhymes. In the show, the participants will explore the Myers house and look for hints as to why Michael turned evil. But what do you know? Michael doesn't like people snooping around in his house, so he comes back to do some killing. The first 15 minutes of the movie, despite being stupid and disappointing, are actually the best stuff here. It's the only point where this movie can cling on to a bit of the quality of H2O, but once we're through it, the garbage fire begins. This movie features the internet. Now, living in a society where everyone uses the internet on their phones regularly, it's kind of funny seeing all the archaic technology that this movie prominently features. It just feels so gimmicky. I feel like the pitch meeting for this movie went something like, you know what's popular right now? The Blair Witch Project. And you know what else is popular right now? The internet. So what if we mix the Blair Witch Project with the internet? Boom! You get popular movie. Yeah, nobody thinks you're cool. The internet stuff is laughable, and the found footage angle is super tacky and not effective here. It adds literally nothing to this movie. The characters are all so generic that they're not even worth mentioning by name. For most of the movie, they're just walking around an old house and doing generic slasher movie stuff, waiting to get killed. The live stream they're putting on for the people at home has got to be the most boring thing ever. And yet we're expected to believe that Busta Rhymes is running a highly successful web business. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, Busta Rhymes, a rapper who literally no one has even heard of. He's the worst thing about this movie, but at the same time, he's also the best thing about this movie. He's the worst part because he's an absolutely ridiculous character. By the end, he's busting through doors, karate kicking Michael Myers, and saying some of the most ridiculous lines imaginable. If you're a serious fan of this series, it's offensive. This series has entered into the realm of self-parody, and it's objectively awful. But if you look at it another way, he's also the best thing here because he's the only somewhat entertaining thing on screen. After 20 minutes of watching people aimlessly wander around a house, I'm actually excited to see Busta because even though he's turning this movie into a complete joke, at least I'm laughing at the joke. The scenes with Busta Rhymes are firmly in the realm of so bad that they're good. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the hell out of him in this movie. But what I don't enjoy is the Myers man himself. Michael is so deeply unscary in this movie that it's hard to even put into words. He's still wearing that awful mask from H2O, and now he's living in a sewer? Like, how much lower can you get? His kills are so generic that there's not even anything for the gorehounds to enjoy. And by the end, he looks like a complete meme as he's facing off against Busta Rhymes. Yeah, say what you will about Rob Zombie, and I will have a lot of things to say about him in the next video. I don't like you. I've never liked you. Go away. But at least he's going to make Michael intimidating again, which this series desperately needs. By the time we get to the end of this movie and Busta Rhymes is saying with a totally straight face that Michael Myers is a killer shark, I am totally done with this movie and I just want it to end. I guess I can give the movie credit for being short. It clocks in at just 90 minutes, but even that brief runtime is padded with an unbelievable amount of filler. This movie is a joke. It killed the franchise for 5 years before Rob Zombie's reboot, and rightfully so. This resurrection was a bad idea. Michael should have stayed dead. In my opinion, it's a 2 out of 10.